Hey guys, Yasir Khan here, and in this quick video, I will be talking about the top 6 reasons why 87% of people dislike their jobs and what you can do about it. Now, chances are if you have a job, you'll resonate with a lot of stuff that I'm talking about, and I will be discussing some of the very important solutions near the end of the video, so please make sure that you watch till the end. I'm pretty sure it's going to make a pretty great difference in your life. So let's get started. The first thing to understand, number one, is that whenever you are doing a job, you are trading your time for money. Okay? And when that happens, you are earning earned income. Okay? And earned income happens to be one of the 3 different types of incomes that you can possibly earn. And it just happens to be the income which gets taxed by far the highest. Okay, so in other words, the government will tax your income more because it's earned income compared to other incomes. All right, and this is exactly why most people who are doing a job, who are doing the 9 to 5 routine, they feel that after the taxes are taken out of their paycheck, they don't have a lot to live on. And I get that. I understand where they're coming from because there's a lot of truth to this statement, right? Number 2, at the job, I talk to a lot of people and they have this feeling that they are not getting paid enough. And once again, they're probably right, because the way a job works is that your employer will pay you a very small percentage of the value you bring to their company. Said another way, if you are getting paid $15 an hour, your employer will only pay you those $15 per hour if they make sure that your output is at least 5 or 10 times that. Which also means that if you're doing a job which pays you $200,000 a year, your output is at the very least $1 million every single year to the company, because it is only then that it would make sense for them to pay you $100,000 every year. Can you see how that works? No one is going to pay someone $50 an hour if their output is $25 an hour. And this is why. This is one of the fundamental things which happens when you're doing a job, and this is why people feel that they're not getting paid enough. The answer is yes, they're not getting paid enough. And this is the reason for it. Number 3, at a job, for the most part, you don't have a lot of control. Okay, you cannot control what you do when new projects come to you and when new customers come to you, depending on the job, of course. And because of this lack of control, there is general dissatisfaction, because if you can't really control a whole lot of things, then you think of yourself as just a cog in a machine, and you don't have enough job satisfaction there. This is especially the case for jobs at the lower end. Okay, when you start working at a managerial position, it improves a little bit, just a little bit, nothing too crazy. But this is more of an issue at the lower tier of jobs. Okay. All right. Number 4, at a job, irrespective of whether you are in the senior management or whether you are just starting out, you have to follow orders. Okay, which means that there isn't a whole lot of creativity, and you have to take command from the management or from upstairs, right? And this leads to job dissatisfaction, because many people want to see, we're all individuals here. Everyone wants to do their job a certain way, but the company doesn't really care about it. No matter what they say, all they care about is that whatever they're paying you, you should be producing a lot more than that. Okay, so they don't really care about the creativity aspect of it. What they do care about is how much is your output. And generally speaking, your output will be more if they can standardize the process. And this is what the issue with most jobs is. Not all, but most. Number 5 is the commute. So I know many people who travel 90 minutes to their office and 90 minutes back. So in other words, every single day they're traveling 3 hours, and that really adds up. Now, those 3 hours, depending on whether you're driving, whether you're taking the bus, you're carpooling, those 3 hours for the most part are lost and they're exhausting, and your productivity is pretty minimized, pretty much, right? So this also adds to why people dislike jobs, I guess. And number 6 is people have this perception, and it's not unwarranted. They have this perception that they're not getting ahead. Well, the reason why they're not getting ahead is because, first of all, they're making someone else rich at their expense because they're working for someone else. Secondly, they are getting paid only a small chunk of their total productivity, as I just mentioned. And number 3, I mean, if there isn't a whole lot of creativity and it's the same grunt work every single day, then people start disliking it, right? You must have seen that if when you started a new job, it was new and it was exciting, but after a month or two, it was mundane. It got really, really mundane, and because there was nothing new there, it was the same old thing that you were doing every single day on repetition, and it kind of started getting to you, right? So yeah, there's this idea that this feeling that people are not getting ahead, and they are right in believing so. Okay, generally speaking, at the job, people are living paycheck to paycheck. They're anxiously waiting for next month so that they can get the paycheck to kind of spend for that upcoming month. And this is a vicious cycle, and it's a little challenging to get out of it. But here's the good thing, okay? There are a couple of things that you can do to improve the situation. The first thing to understand is that if you're not happy at your job, you can always get another job. Okay? That's what most people do. Most. At least they try to do it. The idea is very simple. You try to find out what your passion is, and then you start applying to other places which get you to do the work you want to do. You might have to take a pay cut because of it. Might, not always, but might. But if you're happy at the job, you will be more satisfied with your life, right? Number 2, if the reason why you don't like a job is because of money, then you can tell your supervisor or your boss that you would like a raise. But the only way you're gonna get a raise is if you can demonstrate that whatever you're doing, your output is much higher than the raise that you're asking for. The only way they will agree to an increase in pay is when you show them that you're doing a lot more work than you have to, and you're adding a lot more value to the company. Okay? Number 3, and this is my personal favorite. If you've been following my videos, you know that I did not work more than 3 days at a job, and I was let go back in 2006, and then I started my own businesses. So number 3 is relying on other methods, other ways of income. Okay, in other words, you should try other income sources. Okay, you don't have to rely on your paycheck, right? You could check out dividend income sources. You could check out rental income, which is real estate that you buy and get a tenant to sit in and live in and pay you the rent on. You could start an online business, an offline business, right? This is exactly what the truly wealthy do. The vast majority of people who are affluent, they don't work 9 to 5, at least not the way we think of 9 to 5. Okay, their investments, they kind of support their lifestyle, so they don't have to work 9 to 5. I was talking to a gentleman in Toronto, and he had a couple of properties that he bought 10 or 12 years ago, and he had just rented them out, and he was living off the paychecks from those properties, the rent payments from those properties. I know many people who've left their jobs. They retired early in their 30s, and 2 of them they're in the 40s, but they retired early and they're living off of stock dividend investments. So they bought some stock at decent companies and they were getting dividend payments every other month because of their investments, and that financed their lifestyle. Okay, I know countless people who start online businesses because they're pretty simple to start if you're ready to do the trial and error, and they quit the job because the income from the online business was it replaced the income from their job. Okay, so there are many different ways you can approach this issue, and I mean, the world is open to you as long as you're willing to take action, right? So if you're not happy with your job, you can easily turn things around. Yes, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take a little bit of time and effort, but if you're willing to create your own freedom, then you should be willing to create income sources from your investments, which are going to supplement and support your lifestyle. Okay, so I guess I think I covered all of it, right? Please let me know if you have any questions. I will have video number 2 coming out in a couple of days, okay? And in that video, I will go more into how you can kind of retire early if that's your thing, or if you'd like to increase your income and increase your wealth. All right. Once again, if you like the video, please feel free to share it around, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.